All right, this is Exit Theater Left, Season 1, Episode 4. It's the movie that started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's Iron Man.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
This is one of the films that I have rewatched closer to the 10-11 territory in my life.
Okay.
So
We finally got to the how many
Yeah.
times have you seen this
Yeah.
film?
I fought the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a few years when it became cookie cutter.
You know, Iron Man gets away with it because it's the first one to do it.
I'm trying to think of, is there anything I picked up this run that I hadn't yet? And I think I was finally catching the last little tidbits. There's a lot of quick dialogue, a lot of information that I remember my first couple watches, you don't really fully understand the plot. And a lot of the sexual references there too, hidden in there
Boy.
too.
PG-13 for suggested material. There's a lot of suggestions happening.
Been in captivity for 3 months. There are two things I want to do. I want an American cheeseburger. And the other
That's enough of that.
is not what you think.
First time I ever saw this movie was in theaters. Awkward teenage Raph was, if we could segue away from there. Little things that you definitely pick up more so in a rewatch, and that's something I kind of classify the MCU movies as a whole, they are movies that beg to be rewatched. Please rewatch this. You missed something the first time.
I'm currently writing my own superhero script, and one of the critiques I got was essentially to slow down the action because so much information is presented. I was trying to watch it with the eye of how much do I know because of what's presented to me, and how much do I know because I know this movie and I know some of the background history. You know, if you had never seen Iron Man, if you had never known of Iron Man as a character, how accessible is the content based on the movie?
That is a great question. I think that as someone who has a plethora of comics in my bookcase behind us, if you're a comics fan, you know a lot of the other things that are happening now, you know, world building, character name drop. You know more things are coming if you are someone who has that knowledge.
Yeah.
But I think if you watch this movie as not Iron Man the MCU movie, but Iron Man the action adventure movie, you still learn who the character is, and you learn enough about their story and their growth that I think even on its own, not looking at it as a comic book movie, it's still a great action movie.
My turn.
Raph and I are going to first score the film strictly as all-inclusive. Then we're going to choose 3 random criteria out of our deck to base the film solely on those characteristics. So all things inclusive, what are you thinking is your base score for this film?
Iron Man has a lot of things going for it. Robert Downey Jr. coming back into his acting career. You know, as far as villains go, that might be a part that brings it down a little bit. You know, Jeff Bridges does a good job, but I think his character wasn't written as well as some of the other MCU villains. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I think I'm going to go with an 8.5 out of 10 as my base score. I enjoy the movie a lot. The more I watch the film, the harsher of critique I am towards it. And it's not that there's anything functionally wrong with the film. It doesn't excite me as it does, or it did years ago. So you are at an 8.
I'm at an 8 out of 10.
Iron ingots.
Iron ingots.
I'm at an 8.5. Let's hit the deck.
Let's do it. Dialogue! Ooh, I always love it when we get a new card.
It was funny. We watched the deleted scenes that are on the disc version I have. And it was funny that a couple of those scenes had the worst dialogue. It was a lot of the development of the projects. There was a scene of Tony working on his suit. There was a scene on Obi doing his suit.
Yep.
In the final film, you just get, oh, this
Yep.
blew up.
Yep.
Now it's fixed. And you get it because that's Tony Stark as a character.
I had read a piece that was talking about how dialogue kind of changed on the fly to the point that it was even had like an improv feel to some of the scenes, and Jeff Bridges kind of, getting that vibe. There's 4 people credited for the screenplay. Almost all of Tony's one-liners could have been written by one person, and then the exposition dialogue written by somebody else,
Right.
I don't know. Even, I want to call him Jebediah, but it's not Jebediah.
Oops.
Obadiah?
Oh, Obadiah.
Obadiah.
Stane.
It's not Jebediah. Jebediah Obadiah, my favorite villain.
Cletus!
Obadiah, even though he's not as strong as a villain as people down the road, his writing's pretty good.
I'm trying to turn this thing around, but you gotta give me something to pitch them. Let me have the engineers analyze that, draw up some specs.
No.
It'll give me a bone
absolutely
to throw
not.
the boys
This
in
one
New
stays
York.
with me. That's it, Obi. Forget it.
All right, well, this stays with me then.
Where the dialogue struggles the most with choking down exposition is with the Vanity Reporter. There's a couple times they have quick interactions, and Robert Downey Jr.'s delivery helps, and she's a good actress too.
Yep.
But the dialogue, I'm saying, if on paper, if you look at it, it's probably like huge chunks. Like,
My father helped defeat the Nazis. He worked on the Manhattan Project. A lot of people, including your professors at Brown, would call that being a hero.
And a lot of people would also call that war profiteering.
Tell me, do you plan to report on the millions we've saved by advancing medical technology or kept from starvation with our IntelliCrops? All those breakthroughs, military funding, honey.
You ever lose knowledge that your whole life?
Be prepared to lose a few with you.
they just smooth that over with a little bit of
Yeah.
sexual tension, so it's
Just
like,
a
oh, no
little
one's
bit.
gonna worry about it because there's oogly eyes going on.
Yeah, some suggestive themes.
Content. Swap a character. How flexible is the film? I need you to choose a character and replace them with either another actor, actress, or another fictional character and insert them. And the new Rhodey does not count. You can't.
I was gonna say, is the cop out Don Cheadle?
No, you can't throw Don. in there.
Um.
Russell Crowe could have easily picked up Obadiah Stane.
Okay.
Bridges did a fantastic job. That's
Yes.
not what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying that role was written well enough that you could have different flavors of the character, much like the Joker.
William, here is the technology. I've asked you to simply make it smaller.
Okay, sir, that's what we're trying to do, but honestly, it's impossible.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave!
Pick someone to be Iron Man, I dare you.
Oh. I don't know if it's just because what we watched recently,
If you
but
say Jack Black, I will
I
agree
was
with you.
I was definitely not going to say Jack Black, but I would watch that movie. Ian McGregor.
Oh,
Ian McGregor could pull it off in his own style. It's not going to be the same,
McGregor.
but Ian McGregor would bring like
My
this
heart.
this charm and kind of
Yeah.
he still has that air of like this intelligent aroma that I could believe Ian McGregor was in a cave building an Iron Man suit
Yeah.
with his wit and his charm and his Jedi tenacity.
Disney, if you want to redeem yourself, give us the Jedi Iron Man starring Ian McGregor, please. I'm gonna be thinking about that. I'm gonna dream of Ian today.
Who the hell are you?
Hello there. Concept.
Concept. This is a little tricky because, it's based on a comic book, so how original is the idea for the screenplay, of the story, of the characters? Do you feel like you've watched this before?
It passes. Maybe not an A+. Hero origin story. We have seen it before. However, for the casting, I think that is probably the standout category in all of this.
This is a hard card to approach. It's like, do you rate the movie as it is now, or do you rate the movie when it comes out in 2008? It's kind of what went through my head. The amount of superhero blockbuster movies that have come out have taken away from the value of the film.
Okay.
When it first came out, it was the first superhero origin movie to really leave a print on the big kind of blockbuster. Not that it was the first good superhero movie to hit the theaters, but it really started a new generation of these films, and you can't deny that from a concept. It was kind of a risk at the time.
Yeah.
And it really paid off, obviously.
You're good. Oh, I thought I lost you back there. You did, sir.
Kind of have to view it in the bubble of 2008, because once you start looking at it as now, dear God, are there a lot of superhero movies nowadays? If it's a good adaptation, bring it on. If you're just trying to push it out the door to get money and it's a terrible movie, don't do it.
Iron Man 2008. What do you rate it based on these three categories?
Honestly, in terms of these three cards, it's going to be a little less. A 7.5. 7.5 iron ingots.
I'm going to hold my 8.5. Again, 7 is kind of my, you did it, here's your participation. And it just pushes out fun. It's not a 9, but swap a character, you have the flexibility. Concept-wise, yes, it's a superhero origin movie, but it was like the superhero origin movie. And the dialogue is really good. And then there's just a couple slip-up moments that you're like, yeah, it's really hard to write perfect dialogue.
It's true.
After all these years, Tony still has you picking up the dry cleaning.
I do anything and everything that Mr. Stark requires, including occasionally taking out the trash.
This has always been on my mind. Robert Downey Jr. Could you call him Bob?
It just sounds like a washed out race car driver. Bobby J. Downey Jr. coming around the track for the 15th time. Bobby J. Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., we love you.
Thank you all, as always, for watching. It has been an epic ride. We have one more film review after this, and we're going to wrap it up with a season finale beyond such.
Don't forget to leave a comment down below for what you want us to watch next, and hashtag Bobby Downey Jr.